In this video, we will see how to make the parenting between the object and the armature, between the character and the armature. So we'll go into only one view for that. And what I will do, I will just go into object mode for this. So we have several objects to parent. We have the body, we have the t-shirt, we have the shorts, and we have the eyes. And it will be different ways of applying the deformations. So let's go for that. And I will show you a little tip for especially for the clothes. But let's go first of all with the body and the armature first. Okay, so what I would like is just parent the body and the armature. So I select the body, I select the armature, and I just make a Control P and set parent with automatic weights. I wait a little, and if everything is well done, I mean if you did put well the bones inside the body and everything, if the scale, location and rotation have no values here for each object, it should work well. And now if I go into pose mode, we can see that now it makes the deformation as expected. So we have some deformation happening here. We can see that everything is working well. What we can do is just test everything out. So we make some rotation just to test if it's well placed, if it will act well for deforming the body and deforming the fingers. Okay, so we go through that. If it will close well, we just make a rotation like this. It seems it works well, so I make Control Z again. Okay, I see a little here for that one as well. Let's make a rotation. It follows well. Okay, another here. The knee works well as expected. Okay, the ankle, I have to select as both bones here. This one is important to see if the foot fingers will rotate well. We see that we have too much deformation over there, so maybe we can change a little the location of it and adapt it. And then I can see that if I move my arm here, I can see that I have a big deformation over there, and it's because here the closest bone here is this one, so it will take from this one, and I have a little tip for you to resolve that. Except that it seems that everything is working fine here. We have some nice deformation, except this. Honestly, we are not bad for this. I will test the top, and I will make the rotation of the neck here and this part as well. Okay, it seems to work well. I can see that this works as expected. Okay, I can move some parts, move the ears, or separated parts if needed. And here it seems that this one makes no effect because we did remove the deform option into that bone, so it works as expected. So let's resolve a little the problems that we have. Here we can change a little the location of this, so let's go into edit mode. Okay, and maybe we can just change a little with Control 7. Okay, let's go into that place. Maybe we can put this over there. Okay, and maybe push this a little as well, like this it will follow well. Okay, good. So now we have this, and I would like to update something to make this deformation of the torso works better. So what I do usually, I just add some bones, and I just go there and make Shift E. Like this, it will add kind of, let's say, ribs into that space over there, and I would make the same over there. Okay, so like this, I'm sure that this part will be catched by this bone over here, and this bone there, okay? And it will make more the effect of a rib cage here, okay? So now if you want to update what's happening, you just have to select, come back into object mode, select the two objects as we did before and remake the parenting, and it will update the new locations and the new bones here. So what it will do now, when I make the rotation, you can see that I have a better deformation here, because this takes this part, okay? It's the same for here. So it means that when I make a rotation of this, it will more create a kind of rib cage, something like this, okay? So let's say you want to make a rotation like that, you will more have this rib cage effect. Same for the foot here. Let's see if it works well. If I take that one, if I make a rotation, it's a little better, okay? I could move it a little more here, that one. Maybe sometimes, honestly, you can even remove those two bones. So let's do that and see if it will work well, and update the parenting here. So I select two objects, make the parenting with automatic weights, okay, and see how it will work now just with one bone. In pose mode, or it will not work for sure. Honestly, it works better. As you can see, it works pretty well just with one bone. So let's make it simple. One bone is simpler than three bones to manage. Good. So now we have the deformation of the body, the main deformation of the body. And what it's made, it's that, as we did see already in weight paint here, you can just, not vertex paint, in weight paint here, you can see here the different bones that are renamed, okay? And you can see the different bones that appears over there and the different here influence that they have. You can even paint if the deformation doesn't seem good for you. But honestly, if you make the rigging properly, if you place the bones properly, usually you don't have to touch that much this. But in case you want, you can just paint one bone that is not really well, doesn't make a real good deformation for you. But usually you don't have to make that if you place well and if you put the number of bones that are needed, okay? So let's continue that and make the same for the short and the shirt, okay? So what you can do, there are two ways of doing this for clothes. The first thing is testing just the same way you make Control P, set parent with automatic weights, and the same for that one, Control P, set parent with automatic weights, and test it out. Just go into, maybe just for doing this, you can go into sticks like this. You will have a better view of what you are doing with the deformation. And if everything is following well, don't change anything. Okay, so here it seems that the deformation follows what we want. In case it doesn't work well, you can go, just to verify that, just go into random. Like this, you will have different colors here. And if the skin of the character goes out of the, yeah, here we are really lucky. It works very well. So we have nothing to do more. Maybe add a little more vertices over there. But honestly, it works pretty well. We don't have skin that goes out from the cloth. In case you modeled a cloth that doesn't work that well, and that sometimes it can happen, and sometimes you have the skin that goes out from it. So the first thing that you can do is select the parts of the body here. In that case, because it's important, it happens often when rigging. So in that case, what you can do is select the parts that are under the clothes. Like for example, here I will just select this loop here, over there, this loop, this loop here, okay, this loop over there, this loop there, and maybe a loop over here. Okay, I will hide everything. With L, I will select the entire one here, and now I can assign this to a new group that I will call mask. Okay. So this will let me the possibility to hide this with a modifier generate mask, and you just put the group mask into this. So now it will hide everything, but we have to invert that. And like this, we are sure that the mask will show only this, okay? So it's important to make this like this. You are sure that it will not show this. But what you can do as well, yeah, I will invert the one because it seems that it doesn't work well in that case. Yeah. For this one. Okay. So the vertex group, I didn't, yeah, that's why. It's because I didn't assign it. Yeah, and now it works far better for sure. So here I can invert this, and you can see that only the parts of the body that are not into that group will appear. So it's important like this. You are sure that the skin will not go through the clothes. But another way of doing something that will work better, you can even make both if needed, both techniques. So this first technique will work, okay, for example. And the second technique is transfer the weight paint of the body to the cloth. And for this, you just have to select both objects, go into weight paints, and go into weight, and you have just something that is called transfer weight, and it will transfer the weights from an object to another. And like this, you are sure that the deformation might be a little better than the first one. Here we don't have the problem, so I will not make this, but it will transfer the vertex groups from an object to another and will make better deformation. So in that case, it can work better. So I wanted you to know this technique because it's something that you will have to do often when you rig a character here. Then here you will have the possibility to rig the eyes, because for now here in pose mode they will not follow. So in that case we will have multiple kind of rigging techniques here and parenting techniques. Here we have the organic technique, okay, for the body and the clothes, but here we will have a robotic technique because it will not be deformed. It's just a parenting to the bone. So I will select the object, then the armature, go into pose mode, select the bone, and make Ctrl P, set parent to bone. Ah, yeah, before that, it might be good to be sure of going here and apply. So it's already parented to the body. And what I will do, I will unparent this to the body with Alt P. That's why it didn't work well. I will clear parent and keep transformation. Like this, it will be in the right place and not parented to the body, and it will not affect the next parenting. So I will make this parenting here to the bone with Control Tab. Okay. Control P to the bone. Now it works pretty well. And I will make the same for his brother. Here. Control P to the bone, like this. So now what I will have in pose mode here, when I make a rotation, the eye will follow. Okay, as you can see. So if I select both and make RZ like this, with just the individual origin, you can see that it will work pretty well. Okay. So we'll have a technique to make the eyes follows an object, a bone, and I will show you that into the next videos. into the next video, so because we'll make the constraint. But basically, for make the deformation of the objects and the parenting, we are done. So we have the armature, and here already, before making any constraint or anything like that, you can just animate your object just like this. Okay, so you just create a pose with this, okay, with the arm, for example. I just create a new pose, create a deformation here if needed, okay? And in that case, you select all the bones and use the Y, and it will create a pose, okay? So in that case, it's very simple to use it like that. But for managing less manipulations, to have a good to have good poses, we will use some constraints, and I will show you that into the next video. It's really a saving time, a lot of time saving with this technique. So I want to show you that, and after, you are good to create all the characters that you want.